What's up, LVAD family? I'm sitting here with my man, Michael Cruz. We're going to have a discussion about our little electronic babies that we carry around. How you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing good, brother. Doing good.
So tell me, when were you first diagnosed?
I was diagnosed at 24 years old. So I was back in 2000. I want to say 2013. Yeah, I was 24 years old and just came out of the blue. I didn't have any symptoms before. I lived a healthy life, played sports, very active. I did physical training. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a personal trainer. And it just came out of nowhere. It came around from a viral infection, pretty much a flu, which is scary because most people get the flu. Everybody gets the flu. Everybody gets a cold. It's that common. So to go out of nowhere and just get this cold and then all of a sudden come out with heart failure, it's a scary thing. But that's the card I was dealt.
Right. How long did you initially stay in the hospital?
So initially, I went in for after going back and forth to the doctor. When I finally gave in, I said I couldn't take any more. My first stay was 1 month. 1 month, and after that, I didn't. I lost like 40 pounds. With liquid and things like that. They took all the liquid out of my body, all those type of things. Got medication, and then I lived on medication for about 4 years. No LVAD, no device, no nothing. Just 4 years, and then after the 4 year mark, I started going downhill real fast, and we ended up going in for emergency LVAD surgery.
Did you have time? Did they explain to you before, or was it you got admitted and guess what, you need LVAD?
So the way that worked is part of it's me, part of it's the hospital. The hospital did a great job. They explained it to me, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I was young and naive. 24 years old. I thought I was, indestructible, and I didn't think I was gonna get. I thought I was gonna get better. I was like, there's no way that heart failure is gonna take. You know what I mean? I didn't take it serious.
Right.
They mentioned the LVAD. I went through an eval, and they said, look, you qualify for an LVAD. They even introduced the LVAD to me when I was 24. Keep in mind, I got the LVAD when I was 27.
Okay.
So it was 3 years, not 4 years. So anyways, when they introduced the LVAD to me, I still didn't look it up. I was like, I'm not going to get no LVAD. I didn't want a pacemaker. I didn't want defibrillator. They offered these things. I said, look, I don't want nothing like that. I don't want to affect my everyday life.
Exactly.
And that's what I pushed away. And when it came down to it, I knew roughly what it was. But to be honest with you, when I went in and they said, look, you need the LVAD, it was time to go. I just had to do it. It was something that it was the option, life or death, stay in a bed forever or, go live life and have this device. So I went with the device, and now I'm living life.
Awesome. Where'd you have your surgery?
Gainesville, Florida, Shands Hospital. I guess they call themselves UF Health now. Okay. So that's been my hospital since then.
Nice. So how long has it been?
So I'm 27. I was 27 when I got my LVAD. And I turned 28, literally right. My birthday was right after I got my LVAD. So I turned 28. So I'm 31 now. So it's been 3 years. It'll be 4 years in September that I've had my LVAD.
Which model do you have?
I have the HeartMate 3. So I was one of the test trials.
Yeah. I got mine, and then like 3 months later, the HeartMate 3 came out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. So I didn't know the HeartMate 2 was around when I got it, but they said, look, we have the HeartMate 3. It's a smaller pump. They brought in both of them, and they said they explained the benefits of the new one. So they said, it's all trial. So if it works, we'll pay for everything. So it worked out good. They paid for all the extra costs. My insurance paid the HeartMate 2 price, but the HeartMate 3 was covered by Abbott, which is the manufacturer.
Awesome. Yeah, I was really jealous. This is like when you buy a car, like at the end of the year, and the next model year they change the style, and you mad.
Yep.
Did you?
What's worse is that the HeartMate 2 has been around for so long, and then all of a sudden, how do you know the HeartMate 3 is going to come out?
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right. But I didn't. My circumstance, I couldn't have waited. Like I had to have it right then and there. But if I would have had the option, I would have waited for the new one.
Understood. No, definitely, definitely.
Being a tech nerd, I always want the latest, greatest version of
Agreed.
whatever it is. Did you have any major complications after your surgery?
I was one of the blessed ones that didn't have many complications. Maybe the only complication was dialing in the blood thinners, the INR, getting that situated. That was the only hiccup I had. Eventually, it was funny because the first time they gave me the pills, I misread the bottle. Never was used to this, and they told me to take blood thinner, the warfarin, and it
Right.
was like 5 milligrams. And what I ended up doing was I took it like the first couple of days. I took it like 3 times a day.
Ooh.
I didn't know. I didn't know anything about
Your
blood
blood was
thinners.
water.
Oh, it was water. Yeah, definitely, man. It was so bad. So they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, so they had to redo everything. Then I finally learned, I'm like, oh, I just take the pill once a day, not 3 times a day. So and I think I was taking 5 and 7.5 milligrams. It was really high. So my blood was super thin. But eventually we got it dialed in. That was my only complications. Getting used to getting the strength back initially to kind of live life on your own. It's funny, you're in the hospital, they want you to walk, right?
Right.
They want you to walk after surgery, and that's the nightmare. It's constantly bothering you, poking you, and the physical therapists are in your bed every morning. Like they're so thorough. That's why I got to give it to them. I'm like, you know what, you're looking out for me, but man, I hated it. So they would get in there, wake me up. So I felt pretty strong. I'm like, I'll be able to handle, the house when I get home. And when I get home, it was like very hard just trying to get to the bed, get to the shower, give myself a shower and things like that. But I noticed every day I got stronger. I was able to like go another hour throughout the day. So I would like, for example, I'd wake up in the morning, like at 8 in the morning. By 12 o'clock, I needed a nap. Then the following day, it was like 2 o'clock, I needed a nap. I was able to eventually gradually make it through the day, and it eventually paid off.
How long would you say once you got home, you felt good enough to not really go as a day to day, but you felt good enough that you noticed something changed?
I would say within um 2 weeks, 2 weeks of actually being home, that I was able to do things on my own. My wife was working a full-time job at the time, so she couldn't really be there to support me all the time. So my mother, who lives not too far down the road, came over and was kind of helping me throughout the day. So I noticed after 2 weeks, I was able to function throughout the whole day in the house without her help. And I would say that. And then eventually, I wasn't able to drive for another 2 months. So it was a nightmare riding in the back of my mom's car for 2 months. It was a nightmare.
Did they give you the little red pillow? The little
Yes, they
hot
did. I had
pillow?
to hug that thing everywhere I went, man.
So when I
Speed
first
bumps
got
were a
home,
nightmare.
so when I got mine, I didn't realize I was as sick as I was, because I was going to like a daily day-to-day task, taking my kids to school, and I was just operating as normal. And then when I had my surgery and I got home, like the first 3 or 4 days, I was like, oh, I feel good. I want to do something. Let's go to 7-Eleven. I want to drive. I want to drive my own car. I want to drive. I feel good enough to drive. 7-Eleven may be 4 or 5 blocks from my house, right? So I get in the car. At the time, my father-in-law was with me. And I get in the car. He's like, you sure you good? Yeah, I'm good. Let's do this. So I'm feeling good, blasting the radio, pull up to 7-Eleven, get what I want to get back in the car, start going home. And all of a sudden it was like, oh, I felt every single bump on the road, like every single little tiny rock, everything. And then I got back to the house. I was like, oh, I got to lay down. And it was like right here in my chest. I went
Yeah.
straight for the red pillow.
No, I can definitely understand that. When I first, so the doctors didn't tell me everything, and that was the key thing. I tell people that's why the stuff I do on TikTok and YouTube, and I try to be upfront.
Right.
I don't want to give this false hope. So when I first got the LVAD, the doctors told me, yeah, we had a patient get up and he was back at work in 2 weeks. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, really? So I'm going to be back at work in 2 weeks because I'm young and I'm that positive. I'm that stat. I can be that
Right.
statistic because
Right.
I'm young and I'm active and whatever. It didn't work that way. And then eventually, when he told me, keep in mind, I bought a car from my hospital bed. I
Mhm.
was literally, so I wanted a car. I've always wanted
Oh, so you was
this
itching
car.
to drive more than I was.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to drive. Yeah, so when I was in the hospital, right before I got married, to back up a little bit, right before I got married, I got a Dodge Charger. The only reason why I got a Dodge Charger was because I figured I'm getting married, I'm gonna have kids, and we could need a back seat,
Right,
for a car
right.
seat. So I decided I wanted that car, but I really wanted a Dodge Challenger.
Mhm.
And that was my dream car. That was the car I wanted. Like I even test drove the car, and then eventually came down to it. We got the Charger. Well, now life or death. You know what I mean? I experienced this situation, so I said, look, I'm just gonna get the Challenger. I don't care. I'm not guaranteed tomorrow. I'm
Right.
gonna get the Challenger, and my credit score was good, so I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So I got the pre-approval from the bank, and I found the car. When I got out the hospital, we went and got it. Literally did the negotiating and everything. Well, doctor tells me, Michael, you can't drive for another 4 months till like December. So I got out. Yeah, so I'm like, you're kidding me. So the funny thing is, my mom is a terrified driver. Like, it's just an old lady, so she freaks out and anything. That car is super fast.
Right,
It's a
right,
Scat Pack, so it's got the 500 horsepower engine. So she hits the gas and she's like screaming. I'm in the back, hugging the pillow to death,
right.
and I'm terrified. So that car sat in my driveway for 3 months or 2 months. It just
Mhm.
sat in my driveway. I'd walk out, I'd go sit in it, I'd sit in look at the steering
Right.
wheel, look at everything. I couldn't drive the car. I called my doctor like 2 weeks prior to the date of me being able to drive, and I said, "Can I just start driving now?" And they said, "No, all accidents happen within 5 miles of your house,
Mhm.
like, or a majority of it." So they said, we don't recommend it because you get in a car accident, your chest is done for. So I did, like you, one time I did drive around the block in the car, and I felt the pain.
Yeah.
So I immediately parked the car back in the driveway. I went back inside and I put the keys away, and I never went back out until I had the strength again. So yeah, that was my thing. And working out was an interesting situation too. I started working out not too long after I was cleared to drive.
Yeah, that's it's a funny thing that I started working out maybe about a year, really working out like a year or two after I had my LVAD. And I would basically did it so I can lose weight to be listed on transplant list. So I'm working out, I drop the kids off of school, I'll go to the gym for a couple hours, and gradually start building my workouts up, and mainly concentrating on cardio. Like I started out on the treadmill, I did like 5 minutes, and I did a
Right.
good 5 minutes of like 2 miles, and I was able to do that. And I did let's do 5 minutes twice in the workout. Now let's do 5 minutes 3 times in a workout. Let's do 10 minutes. Let's do 15 minutes. So eventually I got to the point where I was doing an hour on the treadmill before I even started out my workout. So I'm getting good. I'm starting to lose a little bit of weight. I'm feeling it. My breathing's a lot better. I'm running up and down the steps. My kid goes to a school that's it's an old school, it's built like 90 years ago. And it's
Right.
3 floors. So it's no elevator, no nothing. And I used to hate going to their school. It's like, dang, I gotta deal with these steps, right? So I had a parent teacher conference. I went to the school and he was on the 3rd floor. And I got all the way up to the 3rd floor. I was walking to the classroom. I was like, hold up, I ain't out of breath. This
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah.
But then COVID hit. And I was like, it's almost like starting over again, man. Because
Yeah.
I haven't been to the gym since maybe last February. It's been about a year.
Yeah.
Luckily, during the summertime, I was able to buy a treadmill, but it's not the same. It's the environment actually helps. It's a motivator to
It
be
is
around other people working out, and you got
like-minded.
yeah, you got a little scenery to look at from time to time. That'll help too. That'll keep
Yeah,
you.
definitely.
That'll help keep you going. And
Yeah.
so now I'm at a point where I'm kind of waiting for, um, I'm waiting for the temperature to warm up so I can do more stuff outside. Um, I still got my treadmill. It's looking at me right now, and I took my first shot of the vaccination. So hopefully, once I take my second shot, I'm gonna wait like 30 days and then try to go back to the gym again.
Okay, I haven't taken my shots at all yet. My vaccination shots. I'm still waiting for my doctor to tell me, "Hey, come and get it." I've gotten notifications from the hospital, but I want to hear it from my doctor, not from an automated
Oh,
message.
right.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
as
Like,
soon as I was like, as soon as the heart hospital says I can have it, I'm taking it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
they was like, yeah. I went in for an appointment. They was like, you know, you can sign up with the health department, right? I was like, oh, really? Okay. But I know normally anything I have to do, you're probably just like me. Anything I have to do medically, I go straight to the heart hospital.
agreed.
Right?
Absolutely.
If they don't say it, I don't do it. So
Yeah,
any little thing, regular checkups, everything goes to the heart hospital. I get my flu shot through the heart hospital and everything. So I was like,
yeah,
once they were ready, I'm ready. And
yeah.
they gave me the okay. I actually got an invite to get it from a local pharmacy. So I went there to get it. And as soon as I got in the car from taking the first shot, the heart hospital calls and like, we got one for you.
Oh gosh.
Right. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting to take my second shot. I mean, you still got mask up and all that good stuff, but like
Yeah,
I am, we're both very high risk, and
yeah,
that's just not. We just gotta be careful. My kids are hating it right now.
yeah. It was funny. My wife got COVID, so I
Wow.
went to text. Yeah, it was my what was it? My birthday. My birthday recently, and back in November, me and my friends got together, and one of our friends had COVID. We didn't know he had COVID. He didn't know he had COVID. So of course, they were drinking. I don't drink. So me and my mother were at like one of the Japanese steakhouses. So we were sitting around like a hibachi table type thing.
Right.
So they're sitting on one side, we're sitting on the other side. My wife was just sitting like around the corner, so it wasn't a problem. Well, apparently they were sharing drinks and drinking and all this stuff. And next thing you know, I had to go to Texas the following like couple of days. So I left, I went to Texas, and my wife stayed home. And the next thing you know, she told me she's not feeling well. So I was like, that's weird. And then I get a phone call from my friend. I said, I got COVID. So can you guys
Wow.
go get tested? So I was like, oh, great. So I call my other friend, my friend Reggie. He's usually in a lot of my videos. He calls me. He didn't answer his phone. I'm like, dude, where are you at? Whatever. So I told my wife, go get tested. I called my friend Reggie. Eventually, Reggie calls me back and tells Reggie was in the hospital for a week and I didn't know. So
Oh,
eventually, Reggie had complications to COVID. He had COVID as well from my friend. So
right.
basically, everybody got COVID except me. Thank God.
Right.
So
It was a
yeah,
miracle you
so
were out of town too.
so it worked out that So when I got back, my wife still had it, but I wasn't allowed to come home. So I ended up staying at my mom's house for another 2 weeks, which was a nightmare. I felt like I didn't notice how good I had it. Sometimes you're like, oh, I miss my mom's cooking.
Right.
But living with my mom for 2 weeks, I was like, oh, I totally miss my bed, miss my house.
Well, I
So,
hope she's doing well now.
oh yeah, she's doing great now. So she's doing good. She's in nursing school, so it kind of works out.
Good.
I'm her test subject.
Well, speaking of that, who was your support system? Because people don't realize when you
Oh, they don't.
go through this, your support system is very, very important to have a teammate.
Absolutely. So clear thing first off is my wife. She's definitely my support system. I would say she's the backbone, and my family is the cushion. You know what I mean? They're there. My mother, my father, my sister, brother, they're always there. They're there for the love and like I said, the cushion. My wife is the backbone. She's the strength. She's the one that worked the full-time job. My mom doesn't like to drive. So especially when it gets dark, she can't see well. So my wife would work a full-time job, get off of work at 5. Keep in mind, my hospital is in another city. So it's about an hour, 45 minutes away.
Okay.
So my wife would pick up my mother, take her all the way to Gainesville, and then be there till like 9 o'clock at night and come back, and would have to do this over and over again. And she did this for 2 months because I was in the hospital for 2 months with my LVAD. And then my mom sometimes would stay there a couple of days. My brother would stay over the weekends. I mean, so I was never alone. Very rarely was I alone in the hospital. So that was my support system, definitely. And not to mention friends reaching out, but it's very hard because living in a different city than where you're at, like I'm in the hospital, all my friends are in a different city. They can't drive to come see me. So I rarely got to see my friends, but I did get to see all my loved ones that came to see me and stuff like that. But that was it. I didn't get to see my friends that much.
Yeah, I'm in Hampton, Virginia, and the heart hospital's in Norfolk. So it's about
Okay.
25, 30 minutes depending on traffic. And we have those lovely tunnels in my area. So
Yeah.
there's no telling what the backup is going to be.
Yep. No, agreed. You never know what to expect. Right when I got my LVAD, it was right during the hurricanes in Florida.
Okay.
So we were getting hit by Hurricane Maria, which was like it was shutting down the state.
I remember.
So it was cutting through Gainesville, and so it was very hard for people to come see. So I remember being in ICU when Hurricane Maria hit. It was just like rain and wind everywhere. It was pretty nasty. So it was a good place to be because I would have had power outages, had I been home. So
So who does your dressing changes?
I do my own dressing changes.
Good
My
man.
wife used to, yeah, my wife used to do my dressing changes back in the day, and she's really good at it. But she was just like, Michael, I'm tired of doing, whatever. She got busy, whatever. So I would ask her, or she got busy, and I'm like, I can't go this long without an LVAD. So eventually, she told me like, you need to learn how to do it yourself. So she's a tough cookie, so she made me do it, and it hasn't been bad. It's pretty easy to do, so it's
So
not hard.
how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing the dressing change. I want to say it's close to a year now on my own.
Nice.
So no problems at all. I have a slight infection right now at the Driveline site. Not, not going up to the heart infection, but just Driveline. We tested it, and so I have to change my dressing every day. So I have plenty of practice.
Yeah, I went through that too. That was going to be my next question. Have you had any major problems with your drive line?
Yeah, just the infection. And then anytime walking by door handles.
Yes, man. Or a
I hate
drawer in
door
the
handles.
kitchen.
Oh gosh, nightmare. I hate that. It pulls open oh gosh, it's terrible. I never forgot one time my dog ran away, my little one. I have 3 dogs, and one of my dogs ran away, and she's a mini Australian Shepherd. She's
Okay.
gorgeous. She's a beautiful dog, sweet dog. Anyway, the problem is she loves to say hi to everybody. So she snuck out. Like I opened the door and she took off, and she wanted to go see somebody. So I had to go walk and chase her. This was not too long after I started working again after my LVAD surgery. So I didn't have all my stamina yet. So like I had to stop every couple minutes, whatever, to catch her. Finally, I got her and I picked her up, and she got caught in my cord.
Ooh.
Like her, because she's small enough to
Right.
fit in between that. And she was kicking and kicking and kicking. Oh my gosh, it was tugging at my site. It was so painful. I wanted to kill that dog that day. But everything was fine. But that's usually my only problems is the tugging, the nightmare.
Well, talking about dog stories, I have a full-size Rottweiler.
Okay.
She might be 150 pounds, maybe.
Gosh,
Yeah.
so big.
Yeah. So 2 months after I had got, a little bit longer after 2 months, it might have been about 3 or 4 months after I got out and I was driving, I was going around. They had, I like food trucks, and I followed a lot of different food trucks. Where they had this one event where it was food trucks and you could bring your dog. So I was like, yeah, I want to go do that. The local SPCA, and they had dog vendors. They had food for you, food for your dog. So yeah, I want to do that. I want to try that out. It's the first time I've been out with my dog since COVID. So I get out, and I'm a little winded, just from regular walking around. I'm still, regaining my stamina. And I put her harness on, I put her leash on, I grabbed the kids, and we start walking. And all of a sudden, she's just pulling me, like, "Oh, can you stop?" And she's looking at me like I'm just walking regular. So if these two little dogs, my dog she's very friendly when it comes to other dogs, and all she wants to do is play. But when you see this big, massive dog coming at your Pekingese, you get scared.
Yeah.
So she started charging towards these 2 dogs. She just wanted to sniff and play and say hi. But I couldn't pull her back. I was like, oh no, we gotta leave here, man. It was terrible.
Oh, definitely. Those dogs are big, man. Once they have something in mind, you can get ready. You're for a ride.
Yeah, she knows she can't pull that with me now though.
Yeah.
It's a different story.
Yeah, definitely.
So I am a fan of your YouTube channel. I really, you're one of the people who inspired me to get off my butt, buy a camera, and start playing around with it. So I
Awesome.
really do want to thank you. I love your LVAD versus series. I think that is so awesome, and keep doing it, man, because you're keeping a lot of people motivated.
I appreciate it.
Definitely
Definitely is, man. It's fun.
Have you ever ran out of batteries?
Oh, yes. Batteries once. Only one time I've run out of batteries, and that was the my first scare. So keep in mind, I started working about a
Now
month
keep
and
in
a half.
mind, I watch your channel, so I saw the prank.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I love to play pranks on my friends. We love that one. No, there's a lot more pranks that we play. I just don't put it on YouTube because I would get so much hate. So
Right.
I don't do that. So I tell my friends, they say you should do this for YouTube, and I said, nah, dude, the pranks that I pull on you guys, that's scary. Like I play dead. You know what I mean? It's just like it's not good. So they hate it, but I'm like I have a good time with it. My first time though pulling, I mean not pulling anything. We were at my job. We were implementing a new software and a new ERP system, whatever it is. So basically, we had to implement this, do testing, and all the stuff. So it was an actual overnight project. We weren't going to. We were be like 2 a.m. implementing this project. So and it was right before Christmas. So it was my first time ever being out that late. I didn't notice how long the batteries would last. So everything went good. Went home early, whatever. So the following week on Monday, whatever, I went and I did not charge my backup batteries. Didn't think anything of it. I didn't think that the backup battery died, over time. I just didn't think about it. That means they've been sitting in my car for a while. I don't use it that much. So I go to work. I'm in the middle of a meeting. They're having a meeting next to me and I'm working. All of a sudden, my batteries start beeping. So I'm just like, what the heck? So I look, and what happened was my batteries didn't fully charge correctly because I think there was something inside the charger. So I was like, oh great, it didn't charge fully. So what did I do? I go outside, I go get backup batteries. Well, the backup batteries were completely dead. So I was like, oh no, I'm at work and I'm not home. I have no backup batteries. So I told my boss, I gotta go, my batteries are dying. And he's like, go, go, go. And when I leave, I'm walking out, somebody stops me and says, hey, could you lend a hand? I need some help with the computer situation. And I said, I can't right now. My batteries are dying. He goes, it'll only take 2 minutes. I said, no, I don't have 2 minutes. I was like, I don't think you understand. I was like, my battery is dying. And he, again, but it'll just take a second, I swear. I'm like, no, I don't think you understand. If I don't go, I'm going to die. So I hopped in the car. I got home. I'm beeping all the way home. Luckily the pump didn't stop. I learned in hindsight that the bars have a meaning. I'm not sure if you know that. Obviously, it's obvious that you have battery left, but having one bar doesn't mean your battery is dead. It just means it's down to 20% left. So I used to think that it's just automatically going to start beeping out at 20%. So I rushed home. When I get home, the door's locked. My bedroom. Man, I had to kick that door open just to get because my wife locked the door because my dog likes to open doors. Okay. So she locked the door, and finally I got in and got my batteries plugged in. And then when I came outside, my coworkers actually followed me home because they were worried. Right. So they actually just followed me home. I didn't know that. And they go, "We just want to make sure you're okay." And I'm like, "I'm good." Got the batteries. Never again did I ever have a situation like that. Never again. So that was one time only.
I can't say I only had one time, but I'll tell you a story of one of the funniest times. I was going out to eat, and I love seafood. And it's a place here, Captain George's. All you can eat seafood, and they're known for their crab legs. So all day long, I'm like, I'm gonna get crab legs. I'm doing a little fat kid dance. I'm gonna get my crab legs. So I'm so excited about it. A friend of mine takes me. And that was my downfall because normally I drive everywhere. And if I drive, I've had my LVAD for so long. I have 6 batteries in my trunk. So I'm good, like for a day or two, So I'm like, yeah, okay. Let me go ahead and we're gonna go to Captain George's. And they're like, all right, well, I'm gonna drive. So I pop in the Jeep, get in there, we go all the way to Captain George's. We sit down. We start to eat. I'm on my first plate. I'm getting in. I'm dipping my butter. I'm doing my little dance. And all of a sudden,
sounds good.
Doo, doo, doo. I was like, oh no. And then I realized I didn't drive. So I live in Hampton. We were in Williamsburg. Williamsburg is about 25 minutes away. You could do it in 15. Well, we did it coming home in 15 because we fly.
Record.
But the sad thing is, like, we paid for me, my friend, my 2 kids. That's like at $30 a plate. That was a grip.
Yeah.
But we had to leave. Like I was trying to walk past the table, grab crab legs on the way out.
Just
But
hold them beeping all the way home.
right, just beeping all the way home. But we got home and it worked itself out. But yeah, I think that's my last major time. But it's happened a couple times.
Now I will keep in mind, guilty. I'm diabetic. So I have to, like, sometimes I have sugar lows. I have the more high sugar. I have the high diabetes. I always have high blood sugars. So sometimes, you have crashes, and I will unplug completely just to get to because when you have a sugar crash, it's like nothing else. It's like you get so hungry. It's the craziest thing in the world. You get dizzy. Your body goes into a panic mode. It needs salt and sugar, depending on whatever your urges are. Mine is sweets. I need sweets and I need sugar. Salt, like chips. So I will unplug, and I know I have 17 minutes. I take advantage of the time that I have. So I'll run and I'll grab, not no more. I always have a bag of candies. Like right now, here's the Jolly Rancher that I have ready to go for me after this. So I'm always prepared now, but I get called out right when I go to the doctor. They look at the monitor and they say, what happened here? What happened here? And I explained. One time they saw the stuff going on. They go, why did this happen 3 times in a row? I said, oh, I was doing a TikTok video for LVAD stuff. And they started laughing. They go, okay, all right, there's nothing bad. I said, yeah, I was purposely unplugging it because I was trying to do a training. And they're like, oh, okay, not a problem. So,
one last question before we get ready to go. Have you ever fell asleep on your battery?
I never fell asleep on my batteries. I have fallen asleep and then forgot to change my batteries, and the alarm woke me up. So I've never fallen asleep on my batteries. I have my bed is locally. So I would recommend anybody that has, an LVAD, kind of adjust towards your sleeping situation. You can probably get a bag to kind of a cubby or something to kind of set your bag in on the side, or your controller. On my side of the bed, we have a platform bed, so there's a little bit of an overhang of wood there. So my controller can sit perfectly on there. And if I'm wearing a bag, I can take my bag off and put my bag there. So it makes it kind of convenient, so you never roll over it. And I also sleep on the right side of the bed because obviously my cord is there, so it's not kind of awkward. So I adjust to what I'm doing, and it works out perfectly. So can't roll around like I used to, but it's okay. It's just what it is.
Any advice you'll get anyone that was thinking about going through this process? Any especially advice that you wish somebody would have told you before you got it?
Right. So a lot of things, but to keep it short, the most important thing is it's not easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not a walk in the park. It's not like you get up and you're living your life again. It's going to take some determination. Mentally, you got to prepare yourself to fight to get out of that bed. That's the key thing. Don't think about the surgery because you're going to be out. You're going to be asleep. You're going to be in the best sleep of your life. You're going to be out. So don't worry about any of that stuff about surgery. People stress about surgery. Not even worth it. You need to worry about getting out of bed. That's the key thing. Once you get out of bed, you just got to stay focused, determined to get up every single day, because those physical therapists aren't going to slow down. They won't let you out of the hospital until you can walk. Okay. The next thing I would say is family members is to be patient with each other. And especially for the patient, to be patient. Understand that your loved ones are going through the stress of seeing you going what you're going through, and also for the family. The family needs to be patient, that the patient may be a little bit on the snappy side because he's in pain or they're tired, and they're going through a lot mentally. So you just got to be patient with each other and just constantly keep a smile on your face and show love. And the last bit of advice is, when you get up and you get that heart, don't hold back. Don't sit there and stay in a bedroom. Like, look at yourself. You could have just stayed at home and just kind of just lived an LVAD life and not much, but you picked up a camera. Document your life. Document where you came from, because that's where the motivation's at, is when you see a picture of where you were and you look at where you're at now, and you see that change. And then when you can share it with somebody, it's a blessing and a half, because you're motivating other people. It's just a true blessing. So just get up and do something. Whole point of the YouTube channel was to be honest, I just wanted to do YouTube. I wanted to do cars. And my whole goal was I didn't want people to look at me like I was a handicap. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I didn't want people to think of me like I was, I wanted people to forget that I was an LVAD patient. I'd rather than be surprised that I'm an LVAD patient than know that I'm an LVAD patient. I want them to see me doing all these things, weightlifting, sports, drag racing, whatever. And they see all this and they go, oh, and he's got an LVAD. You know what I mean? I forgot he had an LVAD. That was the thing. And that was my mistake, to be honest with you, because I wasn't spreading enough awareness like I should have. Because people who are watching my YouTube channel, they're probably thinking, what do you do? This guy isn't doing much. You know, he's just doing drag racing. Everybody does drag racing. But then when you find out that person has an LVAD and he's going through heart failure, now now my tasks become magnified. They're more impressive. And that's what I recommend to people like me with LVADs. Use your disability as a platform. Now everything you do is magnified. You are doing something despite your setback. And that's what I recommend for people is just grab a camera, grab keys, whatever you love to do, grab a dumbbell, get up and do something. Listen to your body, but still get up and do something. You know, don't sit there forever.
Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been my conversation with Mr. Michael Cruz. Hopefully we can do it again. I enjoyed it.
Definitely, man. I'm always honored to do this stuff. I really do enjoy it. Always wanted to do a podcast, but I'm not that committed like you are.
We're gonna have to collab on a YouTube video soon.
Sounds good to me.
All right, bro.
All right, brother. All right, man. You be blessed. Be safe.
All right, I just stopped my recording. Give me a second.
Right.
So yeah, man, I appreciate that.
No, not a problem. I really did have a good time. I really do look forward to doing it again.
I did. You know, Heart of a Giant.
Who is? No, I don't. I don't know that.
He's on Instagram too. Oh, I forgot to get to. I'll put your Instagram in there after post.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, he's on Instagram too. He did an interview with me on Saturday.
Okay, and he's an LVAD patient as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing a whole series.
Have you met with the LVAD dad yet?
He's on my list.
Okay.
So if you can spread a word and be like, yo, this weird dude's gonna contact you, he's all right. He's on the up and up.
Yeah. I got his cell phone number. I'll talk to him. I just talked to him yesterday. We were chatting up yesterday. So
he's definitely on my list.
Yeah.
And what about do you know who Olivia is?
I don't know who Olivia is. I'm not sure.
On my neck. I'm actually gonna probably hook y'all two up because y'all both have the whole fitness thing. Like she's a personal trainer too. And
okay.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear her story.
So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, everybody's got a different one, man. It's an interesting story for sure.
So I'm trying to reach out to the people that I know on Instagram that are active. And, actually promote. I got LVAD, and this is how I'm living my life. And also, I'm gonna be doing people from the hospital. My perfusionist, he wants to do one. So, but we don't always have to do content about LVADs too, though. So
no, agreed. Yeah, definitely, man. I love it all. I love sports, whatever you got to talk about, politics, whatever. I'm not that much into politics. I try to stay neutral on those type of subjects. You know what I mean? Because it gets hairy really fast. I'm just, but when it comes to sports and stuff like that,
politics and religion, I stay away from it. Everything else is fair game.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. Definitely.
All right, bro. I'm gonna let you know you'll know because you're gonna see it on Instagram. But I definitely try and let you know before I put this out.
Are you posting it on YouTube as well?
Yeah, I probably will. I'm at the point because it started out like I wanted to do a podcast, and then it turned out to be I'm gonna probably end up doing two, and just do one specifically about living with LVAD.
Okay.
Because once I started doing it, I saw it started to snowball real fast.
Yeah.
And I haven't put the first episode out yet, so and I had about 3 or 4 other people that it was like, yeah, I'm down. I'll share my story. And
for sure.
I'm do it because when I first got mine, nobody told me anything. Like nobody living with it told me anything. So
agreed.
I wanted people to see regular people, the good and the bad. When I asked you that question, did you have any complications? I wasn't going to water it down or cut it or anything. I wanted to, I want the real.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, people need to understand that. That's the one thing. That's what YouTube was about. It was just like when I found out that I had heart failure, I didn't know where to look. You know what I mean? Like actually, when I found out I got the LVAD, I didn't know where to look. I didn't know anybody. And then they said, "Oh, you can golf," and I'm like, "I don't golf. What are you talking
And
about?
then
Like, what do you mean?"
if you search for it on the internet, you get a whole bunch of the clinical and the doctor.
Exactly.
And like, that's not
Yeah,
telling
I'm
me
like,
what I want to know.
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm still young. I'm still 27. I'm trying to have a family. You know, it
Right.
doesn't work that way. So eventually, I just said, you know what? I'm gonna pick up a camera and I'm gonna do my own thing, and it worked. To be honest, it kind of sucked. I don't ever talk trash about nobody. It sucked. What motivated me more was I tried to reach out to this YouTuber. He had an LVAD, and I think his name was AJ Fitness, and he does LVAD. He used to have an LVAD. He got his heart now,
Okay.
but I was so bummed out because I reached out to him and I never got a response back. And he had a lot of followers and things like that. So I think he probably got used to it. Now that I'm in that ballpark, I make sure I answer every message that I can.
Right.
You know, unless it's like something weird, but I answer every question that I have. My inbox is full for TikTok from people talking about LVADs and things like that. And I just try to talk to everybody. But it really did suck because when I was looking for happiness or some guidance, you know, somebody from in my situation, the person didn't answer. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be that person. I'm not saying he's a negative person by no means, but it's just my own personal experience. I'm like, I understand he's a busy person, but I'm going to make sure I take time out to help my community. So, yeah, that's what I ended up doing. So I was like, picking up a camera and we're going to do it. And I'm going to answer every email I get.
Right. All right. Well, I got to go. My next one.
All right, brother.
I'm a little bit late and they're fussing at me now. So,
all right, brother. Well, you have a good one. All right.
You too. Peace, bro.
All right. Peace, brother.